To address the question about what is a responsive website and basically why it would matter. Obviously, a whole bunch of users now are using mobile phones or mobile devices like an iPad. So with the old way of doing a website, you can see that when the screen size shrinks down, like it might do for a mobile phone, the content doesn't shrink down, so you kind of have to scroll or zoom in and out to different chunks to be able to read them. It's not very user-friendly. It's also starting to get docked from mobile searches in Google. So if I'm a mobile user and I search for something that would normally pull up this site might be hidden because it's not a mobile friendly site. One workaround is you can add a mobile plugin over the top, and that will display the content in a mobile friendly way, but you lose a lot of the styling, almost all of the styling. It makes Google happy, but the user experience isn't as nice as it would be if you had a responsive site. So in a responsive site, it's actually coded in a way that the content moves around and morphs based on the size of the screen. So in this version of a responsive site, there's video up here, which is going to be a pretty heavy load on a mobile device. So it might be okay on an iPad, and if we go down to iPad width, we can see the video still stays there. But on a mobile phone, the video is actually going to disappear. The other thing that's happening is these little content blocks are then cascading down into a single column versus the two column for the iPad view, and then the desktop view has the four boxes on the right and more content on the left. So it really gives you a really nice user experience regardless of the type of device you're using. Here's another example of a responsive site. As it shrinks down, the content and the way the content is displayed changes, and the content below the header area kind of cascades down into a single column. You can see the same thing on this site. The content cascades down into a single column versus a desktop view when you get a totally different kind of layout for these feature boxes. And the same thing would be true for the inner pages. Now let's go into one of the very inner pages. Typically what would happen then if you have content and then a sidebar is the sidebar would cascade down below the main content if someone's viewing it from a smartphone. So then you get the content that you really want the user to see here, and then you get the sidebar widgets like links to other pages down below. We would still use a similar approach as we used to develop this site, where we would find an existing theme. There's a plethora of responsive themes out there. We'd find an existing theme, and then we would customize it, sometimes slightly, sometimes extensively, to fit your branding and your look and your colors and your content. Let me know if you have any questions.